Let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Poetalk. We're here, you know, all the fun
Finally.
stuff. Yeah, just a week we missed, just a week. Not that bad. Yeah, last week, as I explained, there's a video that was posted that kind of explains why we didn't have an episode last week. But after your guys' feedback, we found that you guys were okay with us just doing an episode if we didn't have guests. As you guys can see, if you guys have watched the Twitch streams so far in the past couple weeks, the amount of people still playing has kind of went down. I've actually never seen Pee-wee so dead. And that kind of leads us right into our next Legacy League extended, our first topic of the day. That they extended Legacy a month. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not playing anymore. I mean, it's not that I'm not playing because I don't like the League mechanic. It's just you can only play so much of one thing before you just get burnt out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much called it, though. I mean, last week I was talking about it, that they're kind of in a rock and a hard place on the dates and then their timeline. So they're going to have to do something, either a league or another league or extend Legacy. And we might even get both. I wouldn't be too surprised at this point to see something like a 2-week event happen, and it goes over the top of Legacy. And that might be right before beta goes. But that's just me speculating more. But the Legacy League extension, I mean, it's an easy way for them to buy themselves a little bit more time.
But they had such overwhelming responses to get Legacy League extended.
I don't see how. Like, why? Why do people really like these league stones? I guess you know what? They don't know exactly how to really use them, and they don't see their full potential, and they're probably just casually using them as fun.
I think the majority of people that are still playing are trying to capitalize on like the eternal orbs that you can get from the keys. So they're like, no, we want more time to get more keys to get more bad shit. We need to open 100 more keys to hopefully get something worth 2x.
Just the league itself is kind of at a point where actually you could still operate in it. I mean, I was still hopping on there and able to make sales, able to buy stuff across,
oh, really?
Anywhere between a few X to 20X. It still moves. It moves a hell of a lot slower.
Yeah, I was noticing the sales dropping off quite dramatically.
And stuff like, lowering your price on your inventory is not going to really matter as much now as before. It's either just nobody wants it type of thing, or they're going to pay it up front. I get, very little people trying to haggle right now.
Yeah, it seems like when you do price checks, you do like the standard, like during the whole league, like when you're doing price checks, you price it once and then you just lower it every day. I was lowering it at one point. I was lowering prices, and I was like, I wonder, like, I'm lowering this price, but nobody's buying it. I went and like price checked it, and I'm still like, I was like half of what the market said it's worth. So I was like, so nobody just wants this type of item yet until somebody finds it. So I just stopped lowering it. But
yeah, and at this point, like, there's very few things I'm gonna be lowering until the league ends.
Now,
not even worth it.
Over the past, we'll say 2 weeks, actually, I have had a bunch of internet issues. That's why I haven't been streaming, and that's why another reason for the podcast not being last week. But in that time, streaming, the uploads were messed up, but I've gotten that all sorted out. I was able to do a 15-hour test stream, and I had no dropped packets, so that's good. But I started solo self-found, and I was really against solo self-found in the beginning because I felt like it'd be boring, but after being burnt out of the league, once you do solo self-found, it does kind of make sense because everything you find you use, like currency-wise, and that's different. It's a much different way to play. So, oh shit, I know why. They can barely hear you because I have the filters. Yeah, my bad. I thought about like what needed to be done. It's okay, we caught it. I'll make sure to put like an annotation above it so people don't fucking freak out.
Oh, you forgot to ask about the audio?
No. I forgot to remove the filter, the pad filter, because whenever I do streaming, I have it at like -10 or -15 dB so that I can like blast my music.
Okay.
So now I just removed that. So yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, so I decided to play solo self-found to kind of like help alleviate the burnout, and I figured. I feel like in solo self-found, there's no way to play it in my mind unless you go hardcore. And going too hardcore again, it definitely kind of like, I don't know, it kind of rejuvenated it to a point where I was having fun. So I'll probably be streaming some of that later on, and then maybe some.
But
other
it
games
actually
too.
made a difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I died, and I haven't like felt that feeling since a couple leagues ago when I was playing hardcore, and it's just kind of like
pissed off feeling. Where
no,
you're
not even.
like,
I laughed.
what the fuck?
Me and
That's
Dicer were
me,
just
like, I get
chatting, and I'm just like, I'm like, I died. He's like, what? You died? I'm like, yeah, I'm dead. He's like, welcome to standard. I don't know. It was the feeling of being close to death is definitely a thing, you know, that I'm not accustomed to because I've played solo softcore for a couple leagues, so I kind of have forgotten about even logging out or any of that kind of stuff. But my death was fast, like near instant, because I just got like destroyed by a bunch of breach mobs. Breach is so deadly, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So obviously there are still people that play Legacy League enough to have them extend it. Either that, or they're just saying that so that they can extend it. No, I mean they have like they're talking about these random events. And then they even quoted so many random events. If they have so many, why can't they run them now as well? Like I don't see a reason why not to like extend the league. Sure, for the people that want to play
starting?
When beta starts, so not for another month.
Oh, they're gonna run concurrent with beta.
Yeah, they had like a specific new events for those not in beta. So like the people that don't get into beta, and we'll talk about the FAQ later, this is one of the things, but I'll bring it up anyways because we're talking about it. They said, in quotations, so many events that they have planned for beta, for during beta. So it's like, why don't you just run those now? Like the people that don't want to play Legacy, the ones that are going off to other games, they should be releasing these events now to give people.
Did they can them?
No, they're gonna go.
So they're still gonna come out with these events.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's gonna be during beta so you'll either play beta or you'll play these random events, which I kind of feel like is also kind of weird.
Oh,
or play Legacy.
So Legacy League's just gonna keep on
keep on keeping on.
It's extended. It's extended. They said extended for another month, I believe.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was just gonna go over.
So I guess June 29th is the So if the beta does start June 7th, like they plan, then it's going to be an entire month of more of Legacy League during beta as well. So you're gonna have a lot of choices, which I don't know if that's good or bad. But if you get into beta, which we'll talk about later, I think I'll definitely get beta access. But again, we'll talk about that later, just by judging on what they said in the FAQ. So that'll be cool. At least we'll stream that, talk about it on Poetalk and whatnot.
I'm fine with them extending it. I have no problem with that.
Well, I don't either, but I still
gives us more option.
But don't you think you would still have more fun playing the random events now than not playing at all?
Meh.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of like downtime right now. I'm treating it as.
It depends because what if, coming from someone else's point of view, what if they want to play beta and they want to do the event? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's going to be the same thing anyways.
How so?
The events are going to be during beta, and you're going to have Legacy during beta. So like you either play beta or you play the events. Well, I guess you could play if they're only like a day events, you could like play the beta until the event, play the event, and then go back to the beta. Okay. Yeah, if they're not like long events, I guess it's not that bad.
But if you paid money for that to get into the beta, you're not going to want to like take time.
Somebody might want to do it. I mean, who cares? If they want to do it, they want to do it, you know? Somebody might want to pay and want to do events too.
It takes time. It takes time away from the events. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'd be for more paleo for doing it now, the downtime right before the beta.
I mean they're gonna then they just have to make a ton more events. It just becomes more work. It's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to make easy work to fill time in order to give themselves more time for 3.0, do the proper release and all that.
They could they don't have to do one event once. They can run many headhunter races. They could run even
and people just burns out, and then people are tired of that by the time beta comes around.
They said they have so many events. They even went out of their way to specifically. I'll see if it's in the FAQ, but they specifically.
I read it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just they're
We'll see.
it seems like they're like bragging that they have like all these events lined up. Like you can't wait. I mean, I know that's kind of what they do. They hype shit up. But
Hyping it up.
I do like the fact that they do listen to the community, right? Like Reddit said they wanted to extend it, and then GGG's like, all right, cool. I kind of like that. As long as it doesn't like, as long as it's not like huge business decisions. Obviously, like they should be able to do.
Well,
Run
okay,
their company the way they want
so
it.
right, but Reddit also wants GGG to implement Legacy League.
Right. I think so too, but I don't know.
You think they should implement it
In some form or fashion. Yeah.
Some
It's
form
a-
or fashion.
Yeah, it's a
with
cool.
League
It's a,
Stones?
yeah,
I
it's
think-
it's a cool mechanic overall. It's just obviously some things are
It's-
overpowered. Maybe make them extremely rare, just so that
Even
when you get
then-
them, it's like, ooh, good shit.
That's not gonna really affect anything. We just buy them.
Well,
People are not gonna not know the value of them in the beginning of the league. You stockpile them like we always do, and then boom,
until
a league supply.
they're soulbound. What about that?
Guaranteed
Oh
guaranteed
god.
Hyula
I know,
Splinter
look at
My
drops
problem with them is
for
that
heroes?
they're terribly tedious. Between having to flip prophecies constantly that never proc on the maps that you want them to proc on, to having to refresh sextants every 3, to having to block them off properly, to having to rotate your damn leak stones, and no surprise that this one has +3 charges, so now that just fucked your whole gimmick up of trying to do them in sets of 5. I mean, it's just like it becomes a, and not only that, you have to go and buy leak stones, go buy sextants. It just turns into like, damn. I miss Breach League when it was just like launch the map and there's the mechanic in your face.
It is definitely more tedious, but you get paid for that tediousness, like in very handedly.
Yeah, but
Over much too so. That's the problem is
Yeah,
I have to
too
spend
much.
2 hours on fucking trade, 3 hours researching the thing before the league starts in order to get a leg up. And then yeah, I do get more than everybody else, but that's not the type of way I want to be playing the game. But that's the way I'm basically forced to play by the design.
okay,
In
and
order
then
to be
how
like
long,
maximum efficient.
how long is it taking you to actually finish one map?
30
A
seconds.
lot less than I'm spending in time preparing the maps. I'll tell you that much. It's more about map preparation, about buying the actual leak stone, watching my 20 damn live searches on leak stones.
Yeah, but I
And
thought it was
get
taking you
moves.
guys like
It's like
20 to 40 minutes just to go through all the loot and shit on
only
one map.
on Vincart
some
Square.
of them. Yeah.
Or if we like
Depends what you're
really pump
doing.
up a map and like do double beyond and have like stupid prophecies and stupid sextants that like drop a shit ton of loot and freeze the screen when you kill a rare.
Right.
Those are the fun ones though, to be honest. I have the most fun doing that.
That's
But
still
when
so
you're-
much, though. That's like almost too much.
It
Nah.
just becomes tedious
It's a
to the
big
point of
investment.
like, yeah, it's a big investment, but that's the thing. It's like it's worth it, and people don't know
Yeah.
how worth it is, especially in the beginning of the league, and it just becomes laughable the things you can do with those league stones. And people are talking like, oh, well, just get rid of the white league stones and make the blue ones run infinitely. I'm like, god damn, do you just want loot pinata explosions
Yes.
all the time? Because
Yep.
that's what we're
Yes.
moving very quickly towards, is just like, hey, I want all the loot in the game and I want it to happen in one map.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
it
you have
just-
to get
it's
the
getting absurd.
uber strict fucking
Yeah.
loot filter. Like, geez, give us more fucking things on that.
If anything, I do want Breach to be in the league, in like
Well,
as a
okay,
core
my thing-
mechanic, because it's not yet.
My
It's
thing is
technically not.
league stones. Okay, if you're talking about taking it to the core game, right, and you're going to replace the core mechanic with this league stone thing, fine, let's talk about that. But let's first talk about all the damn mechanics that have been integrated into the core up until this point, and how that now we're like double dipping mods on those.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Nemesis, you get to pick it up on the, randomly they'll have that, or there'll be random random strong boxes out in the map, and then but you can double it up with the one. It just becomes like, if we're
Prophecies and-
gonna do these league stone things, and in order to balance them, maybe we get rid of all core mechanics. We get rid of like a ton of the power in the breach ones. We get rid of a lot of the power in the onslaught, the Nemesis, something.
I feel like at this
But-
point, that's not going to be into the game, just based off of the pure. They can't keep adding to the game because it's just going to make it's extremely confusing for new players. Because they,
It's too much.
back when Essence was considering being added to the core game, like then Breach comes along, and then they're considering added that to the core game. They can't add every league into the core game because if they did, it would just be too much. So I have a feeling it won't be, but I wouldn't be sad if it was in some way. But yeah, we'll see.
Right, and like before this
3.0
league
might
was
change everything.
Yeah, it definitely will.
So.
I mean, because Xana needs to be redone. I remember at the beginning of this league, they were talking about how they were going to introduce Breach into the core game. And then it's like, oh, no, never mind, surprise. It's not going to be introduced. We maybe do it in 3.0.
Yeah, they said they're not sure. But the League Stones are Breach, so it's in the game now. But yeah, I'm hoping they do add Breach. Breach is super fun. I love Breach farming.
But I remember one of the first things I went to at the beginning of this league when I was speculating on things was if they add Breach as a core mechanic and allow me to put breaches on a map, this is absolutely the dumbest thing imaginable. 6 breaches on a map. It'd be ridiculous. And that's what it was theoretically looking like at one point. And then they changed it, right, to being only 3 max with the League Stone that guarantees 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's like, so you danced with the devil and you walked away. Like you saw that, like, oh shit, 6 breaches might be a little broken, and you backed away from that one. I'm like, y'all need to do that. This was a candy league. It was fun, We all went and busted a bunch of pinatas, got a bunch of loot for easy. It's not PoE. It was the fun league, the filler league, and it needs to be remembered as such. Like I don't want this to become the new standard.
Yeah,
even Breach was overpowered. Like, come on.
If this is going to be introduced, I think it needs to be introduced like how Dark Shrine was. Just event. It's all filler. It's like, hey, they don't have time to develop something right now, or they need some more time to do another season or whatever you want to call it. So let's just throw in this league, Legacy League, because they can just do this whenever they want. They can do any league whenever they want.
Well,
don't add this to the core game, please. Just bring the league back sometimes and update it.
So you're talking about like rotating the league stones that are like active or something like that, or having
that only having like 3 league stones available per league that might synergize with the league that they make available or something.
Or just basically just run this league like once a year as filler. This is all I'm saying.
During like heavy developmental time where they need like something to buy time.
Possibly. That gave me an idea though. Like, what about if you were to introduce those, say you add league stones to the core, but the stipulation is that the ones that are active can be used, or like a set of that rotate on a schedule of some kind, or like a randomized schedule. Like it pulls in like, okay, the set of active stones for right now is Breach, Onslaught, Prophecy, and Anarchy League, whatever.
Like Warbands Tempest was.
Yeah, it's like a giant Warbands thing, and it's like if you don't really care and you just want a map, then it would work. Like for the guy that just wants to keep efficiency for XP, but if you're the guy that like actually cares about optimizing the league stones and the maps and the combinations that you're running, then you just have to be more patient.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it all the time. You couldn't be breaking shit all the time wide open. I think that would actually be a cool thing, because then you'd like, if you pulled it off, it's like, wow, congratulations, not only did you get it all set up right, you got everything to proc, but you timed it right.
I do wonder,
get the timing on it.
Somebody in chat made a good point. I wonder that having this league, I wonder how many people are playing it because it's so explosive with loot and whatnot and super fun and crazy. I wonder, like, this is the most players they've ever had. Maybe 3.0 will extend that and double that or triple that, hopefully. A good number, many numbers past that.
It's also the most they've had because it's, the game just keeps progressing and the player base is just slowly getting larger and larger.
Right. But dialing it back to what it was prior to this league might be a shock to some people if they don't have it implemented in some way.
I don't to me, going towards the masses is how this game will die.
Well, probably, yeah. I mean, that's how Diablo died. Yeah. There's so much shit. Like, I kind of felt like this league was how Diablo dropped legendaries. Like, so many uniques were dropping, but you're just like, oh, that's garbage, that's garbage, that's garbage. I'm not going to pick that up. Then once
if you want to, like, If you want to go with the masses, I mean, let's talk about the masses in like United States of America. I'm pretty sure everybody wants money, right? And doesn't have to work.
Yeah.
Should we just all get that?
Yeah.
Because the masses said so. I mean,
sounds good.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, maybe if we all said free energy, that would be cool. But it depends on what you're asking for.
Cool little thing. Apparently Tesla, this is completely unrelated. Tesla is, they have a solar-powered roof that they're selling now. Very cool. Little random fact of the day.
We'll link that in the description below.
Yeah, you can go buy it. It's only $47,000 for a full roof. But
we'll put the Amazon affiliate link.
Over 30 years, you could save up to $38,000, and then you can get a tax credit of $14,000. It's actually a pretty good deal if you plan to have a house for 30 years. Anyways, the link will be in the description below. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Tesla. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
We kind of
trailed off of our thing, but you know,
I was gonna say we kind of wrapped up with it because
yeah, we can move on to
it's
beta.
Just it's it's broken. It's not. It should be implemented. It shouldn't.
Yeah,
like,
we'll ramble about that next week if we need topics. All right, so we'll move into beta. We've already talked about a couple of the stuff that we have listed, but we didn't talk about the mini map so far. So let's bring that up because it's actually like this is something a lot of people were bitching about, which I do agree that it was quite dated. And I've got some pictures of the old and new. So the old on the left, the news on the right. It looks pretty good. I gotta say, I like that the blue line that has the like what you've explored and what you haven't. I like that a lot.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, the only thing like I've gotten used to the old map, but the one thing that I definitely would love to see if that improves upon is those little alcoves when you're in a map or when you're pathing towards maps and you come into that little spot that you didn't reveal and you can't even tell was there really. Like I know there's this one wall in Chamber of Sins that always catches me. It looks like the wall is gonna have roots go across it and seal the way.
Yeah.
And if that's the only passage, it'll trick me because I'll like run just far enough to make it look like on the mini map that it's a sealed wall right there. And unless I go back and repath down there, it'll be like, oh yeah, you done goofed.
Well, if you were
if it prevents that,
you would know.
You would just know the layouts. Well,
you would just know to just keep going.
The one thing the only thing I can say that I don't like about the mini map so far is the color that shows you that you haven't explored that area is very similar to the color that shows that they're like little obstructions in the way, I guess you'd call it, like rocks and stuff. Like maybe choose a different color and maybe not be all blue or whatever. Well, some people are like colorblind; they can't tell the difference between those two colors.
So say it needs to be something more distinguishable.
Yeah,
a fatter line or something, anything, jagged line.
I also just kind of noticed that they have like an odd outline around the entire map itself. Actually, that's kind of a good indication that you're like missing something. If you look on the map here, there's like this like outline that goes along the wall, and then there's like the big thick blue line that shows you that you haven't went that way. And you can see that the little small thin line that outlines the entire map goes that way. So it actually does. I mean, obviously,
right,
going at 100 miles per hour, you're not going to see that, but when you're like looking back over the map going, where the fuck did I miss this? You'll see that at least. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when racing, you gotta... When racing, I mean, you're doing a lot with that map, so I'm really interested in how it's going to play. When you're tabbing it up constantly, putting it back up, bringing it back down, and looking through it, like, it's hard to say, like, how it's going to play when you're at that high speed. And, you're moving while operating.
Smooth operator.
But yeah, it looks way better, and that's it definitely. Oh, you see that water? Look at the water. No,
I know the water looks really nice.
Looks better. It's still a bit. It should be more translucent on the shore, but that's small grapes.
Also, like how they put that outline actually in the water, so you can see that. I don't think that was there before. I
actually think that the smaller mini map isn't as effective as the larger map when you tab. when you tab, you can see things very nicely. When it's smaller, it's a bit more difficult to see, I guess. Well, I'm excited. Obviously, this is just like the like during beta, people are gonna have opinions like me and you, like that everybody has, you know, and we're gonna be able to tell them. I wonder if this guy knows he's going the wrong way. Anyways, he was doing this the scepter of God, and he was going down the stairs.
Did he pull up the mini map in that video?
At all, or during the scepter?
Yeah, is he? No, at all.
Oh yeah, in the very beginning. It's like the very first like couple seconds.
That they would show something that's not enabled by default in that video. That map up in the top right, yeah, that's not enabled by default.
Oh really? Oh yeah, it's been so long.
It should be.
Yeah, it's been so long since I played, but yeah.
Or maybe they changed it and I didn't hear about it, but
I don't know.
It should fucking be.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Poelab, about the like they have the white outline saying you can't go through the water. I bet you a lot of people try to run through the water.
Well, it's not just that, but like sometimes, like even on Strand, I'm pretty sure it was one of the maps I was on has water, and it just went way the fuck out there, and I had no idea. Beach. That's what it is.
It's fucking Kun. Like when you're trying to find those boxes, and you're like, you don't know how far you've explored in the water or not in certain directions. I can see it really helping with that.
Sometimes beach goes really far into the water, and you just have no idea. And you just gotta like, you like do slash remaining. It's like 50 plus. You're like, what?
I figured that out this league on beaches. I had no idea. Been running them the whole time, not even paying attention. Like, oh, I'm done. I don't have to see how many monsters are left. I know. I just cleared it. Oh man. But I really like it. I feel like it's a really huge quality of life.
Oh, you can turn off the layers of outlining if you don't like it. Okay, I like that.
That's legit.
This layer is optional and can be turned off if preferred. However, it did prove to be very useful for navigating certain areas. We've also added an exploration line that shows walkable areas that are yet unexplored. When exploring the map,
cool.
That's what we'll show. Yeah. But I like the ability to turn on and off if you just find that it's just not very good.
Yeah, I like having options.
Yeah.
Just said layers. Give us more options, more things to fuck with.
It's pretty cool.
So I don't have to get a third-party one.
I'm actually a little surprised they don't have more third-party apps like map tweaks and stuff like that.
Probably illegal.
Well, I'm sure it is, but I mean, like they allow other things. So I'm curious where the line's going to be drawn. It's a very thin line to traverse when you're making programs for the game, because some of them that do certain things they feel they're allowed, but then other things that are very similar can't they're not allowed. But whatever. All right, so maybe that looks cool.
GGG is very cautious and word their bylaws or whatever their how they keep track of what's legal and what's not. They word that shit very carefully.
Yeah, they definitely dance around.
Like if you really look at like their wordings on things, it's like they're dancing around a bunch of stuff in a legal sense.
Yeah, they very rarely give absolutes.
Yeah, which is smart. I mean,
it
doesn't bind them to stuff.
It definitely gets people off their back. Although they feel like they've been answered, but it's really technically not. But it's fine. It's whatever. All right, so maybe a small thing, nothing really big there, but it's cool improvement. The next one, they did release the Fall of Oriath, the Abberath fight. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but I'll show it here on the. Oh, you shush the music. All right, I'll show it here on screen. Have either one of you watched this yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you guys
think?
One
thing, before we go on, kind of relating to what we're talking about, and how GGG words their things kind of in an abstract or like weird fashion, so to speak. The thing that happened with Empyrean, they talked about how giveaways is now considered RMT.
I mean,
did you see that one?
I didn't see it, but I can understand why it would be RMT.
It's interesting though, because like
giveaways.
I remember God gave
I thought it was giveaways for like subs or whatever.
No, they said basically
follows.
no. It's just giveaways now.
Any giveaway?
I mean, because you could easily, quote unquote, give something away, rig it to the point where the person donates to you later on that day or a day before, and that's RMT. You might be just rigging it to RMT giveaway, something like you're covering it up that it's an RMT because you're using a giveaway as that port. I don't know. I see reason why easily. Like,
and I think it started to get fucked up with sub luck when that happened, when they introduced like waiting for subs.
Right. Yeah.
On Twitch.
So that makes a lot of sense too. Because you can have like, they get like double the chances or triple the chances or whatever.
Or 100 times the chances or whatever. Like, you know, people do. I've seen some ridiculous waitings for subs.
I've seen
like at that point you might as well not even try if you're a non-sub, but it's like technically still open, so it's like it grazed the line.
Oh, I've seen somebody that had like I think it was 10 times subscriber luck or something. It was a fairly large number, 10 or 20 times, and then a non-sub still won. I laughed. I'm like,
yeah, I mean that to me it's like, damn, some giveaways have been going since I can remember. Motherfuckers doing giveaways, and just like, damn, I've just gone all of a sudden with one new streamer doing it. It's not like much of a loss to me, but it's like,
yeah, I stopped doing giveaways a while ago.
It's been around for a while.
I don't understand why he got into it with them though.
I don't know either. I don't
Somebody
remember.
might have accused them of RMT, and then they looked into it, and it may not have been, but they were like, well, this actually makes a good point, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as a new player, he's coming here and he starts hearing people question about, is this RMT or not? He has to actually look at it, where if somebody like me was on there and they're like, oh, this is RMT, I tell them to fuck off because, you know, this has been going since Jesus played the game. Right, yeah, like these giveaways have been around forever, and it just is one of those things that's like you don't even think about like when you play this long. But for somebody like him, it's like you have to actually sit down and think like, is this RMT? And then he starts, you know, going down a different path.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. It's one of those things where it's like one person ruins it for the rest of, or a small subset of people ruin it for the majority.
I still don't understand. There's one streamer who's not way bigger, but pulls a larger audience, generally bigger than Empyreans, that gives away shit all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if he got reported, not. I mean, I don't know if that's an official rule now with Twitch or with I guess it would be specifically with Path of Exile. Because I mean, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, I don't know.
So I mean,
it
that
has to be an official thing.
Hey, Paleo, I'm done with the game. This league, I don't care. Here, take my 5x and my gear. And...
but you donated me 100 bits, so RMT. That's what I'm saying. That's what they would accuse. I think that's the reason why.
First going down that gray line.
Yeah,
like,
it's
all the abilities in Twitch nowadays to donate and to like tack on luck, and it just is too. It's not this. There's no separation. Is what I'm trying to say. It just becomes the streamer gets to set the rules, and since that happens, it's like, well, sometimes the rules aren't agreeable, so they just got to get rid of it. You know, they can't be playing that game.
Yeah.
They got to make a ruling now before it keeps getting grayer and grayer.
I see what you mean. Then it gets out of hand.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, you already said that this was okay. Like, they just have to rule on it early.
You'd have like the RMT sites, like using like a bot to play the game, and they'd just be sitting there fulfilling orders on like another monitor. Every time they got a quote unquote,
we're doing a giveaway,
and then they would start getting subscribers. Oh god, that'd be like the best operation ever. I love it.
Yeah, that whole shit gets shut down real
quick
right now.
The guy like forgets that he's running a bot. He like gets up to go to the bathroom. It's still playing. That'd be pretty good. But yeah, anyways.
So
we can talk about RMT another time.
Well, I mean, we're just kind of talking about the Abberath thing is playing, you know, doing its thing. But what I wanted to say was, yeah, the Abberath fight looks cool. I mean, there's really not much to say about it. I like that he's wearing Abberath's hooves and they're actually going off.
I actually just noticed that watching the video now. I've already watched this like 3 or 4 times prior to this, and I just noticed that he was running around and little explosions were going off.
And I just looked it up just to double check. The only other Abberath weapon is the horn. So I mean, straight off his head. So it's really no use for him to use that.
I wonder if he's gonna have any kind of like increased chance to drop the hooves.
That would be kind of legit.
I wouldn't mind things like that. Having like back in Diablo, like certain bosses
people
had
would
like a
just farm
small
shads.
percentage of being able to farm something.
Well, I mean, that used to
It's like boss farming.
was a thing here.
Really?
I
You know
mean, you
what?
should have seen rummies back in the day. Like, rummies, for the longest time, you'd see somebody's like, hey, I got a rummies drop. You could just say, did it drop from Trio?
Yeah, I was gonna say that still happens.
Did it drop
Like
from Trio? Yeah, it
Last
did.
league,
How
Ziz
do you
was
know?
saying that the roomies drops like a lot in Adziri, just in general.
Yeah.
He was telling me mainly off of the duo.
Vols.
Yeah, the Vols.
Yeah.
I think I
But
had
I always see it
last
off the
league,
trios.
off the trio.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
I've
drops
predicted
often,
so
man.
many of those flasks. Like, people are like, hey, rummies. I'm like, let me guess, Trio. How do you know? Magic.
I like that though. Like even if it's just 1% more, increased chance from them, it gives you a goal that you'll be able to farm. I like that idea. I don't know. For me, this fight, they're kind of going MMO on us. I feel like in a lot of aspects. The one difficulty, the multi-stage fights. I'm not like hating on it, but it is definitely weird. It's definitely a different direction to go for action RPG. Normally the fights are pretty much, I guess you just face tank it, or you do kiting and stuff like that. But in this, it's kind of like there's these stages. Like, what stage does he do? I mean, obviously there's stage fights now, but every single fight they've shown so far has been multi-staged. Normally it's just like
I don't know.
one
I
or
think
two.
they went down that road in Act 4 when they released that. Think about that. Like, Duressa, multi-stage. Maokai, multi-stage.
Yeah.
They went down that road, I think, then.
Well, they had Adziri, obviously, is multi-staged. Herself, at least. I think it's okay. Like, the fight looks... I'm curious to see if you can, like, burn them through one phase. Like, obviously they don't show, like, health bars, and this guy's using Glacial Cascades, so... that means nothing. So, I don't know. I'm just curious how fast he's going to die. Like, if these fights are going to even matter. The Brine King and Abberath. Like, they're all multi-staged, but if you just burn them, does it skip it, or does it go, like, Labyrinth on you, where, like, it forces you to do every single phase? Because that's going to be annoying as fuck.
I bet day one it does. I bet day one we're on day one with no gear.
Yeah, with no gear, of course.
We're going to be struggling on those fights. And if we, make a second character and we have 7 league steps and, gold rim and all the fucking fun stuff, then, yeah, we're going to breeze through it all.
Yeah, but where is Abberath?
That's kind of like
Act 6?
6, yeah.
Or 7? No, it's 6.
6 or 7.
Well,
I think Brine King was
oh, no,
6.
it's just one of the main minor gods you encounter in the Act 6 is Abberath, so he's Act 6.
Oh, okay.
So Act
6.
5 must be Brine King.
Yeah.
God of the Goatmen. I'm
Which makes
surprised he
sense. I
doesn't.
mean, you get the climb, you get all the goat men up there.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a molten shell that he puts on himself. I would have liked
God.
that, like a molten shell.
Melee would have cried.
I know, right? I mean, they're already gonna kind of cry. There's a lot. Like, this fight definitely hates on melee, like every other fight.
A lot of these fights that I've seen, it's like just dodge the balls is what it's turning into.
No.
So a lot of AoE balls, a lot of projectile balls, dodge the balls.
They're definitely
win.
What's the word? God, it's at the top of my head. Avoidable. It's not the word, but that essentially they're telegraphed. That's what I'm saying. Like when he calls down balls, he like holds his hand up, and then like they start showing on the thing, and then when you're supposed to go to the next phase, there's meteors coming down. Like everything's very telegraphed, so should be no problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can just looking at the mechanics; they seem kind of easy.
Right. Even in some of the fights in the trailers that we've seen, like where they're in that was it like the church with all the stained glass windows?
I like that
they
fight.
showed
that
that fight.
looks way more epic.
Right, they're showing that fight and he's spinning around, shooting a bunch of balls at people. That you gotta, like in a spiral that you gotta navigate.
Right.
And it's just like dodge the balls. That's what I'm prepared to do.
There's a lot of there's
beta.
a lot of balls I've seen so far. Actually, there's balls in all 3 fights so far. Brine King had like the balls that come from the waves, I think, right? Those are balls, right?
Yeah.
And then you got
some balls.
Oh man. Gonna be Path of Balls.
New balls. So, speaking of that, that kind of moves us right into these FAQs, right?
Yep.
Are we already in the FAQs?
Yep. I transitioned us already.
So the beta should be starting around June 7th, right?
Maybe.
That's what they say.
Unless they
I've
push it
heard
back
up to the
again.
20th.
I was gonna say, or they'll like completely change the date without telling anyone, and the next time you go look at the FAQ, it's like June 22nd. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, word
There goes
on
my
the
vacation that I took for the beta.
word the talk that I have with the guy that whose name we shall not speak, saying June 20th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was told a bunch of information that doesn't seem to be true at all. But I mean, obviously, he did tell me that it was straight speculation. Then he did say he had a source on the inside that was kind of explaining these things. But you know,
Yeah, I mean it's
He
speculation.
shall not be named.
yeah, I'm not gonna like call somebody out. I mean, they're sharing information with me that may not, be public knowledge. I'm not gonna call them out. But yeah, it's supposed to be running for about 5 to 6 weeks. I think we already talked about that. There's gonna be many events during the beta. If you're not into the beta, you'll still have things to do. So how players will be selected, that's kind of a big topic that we can talk about for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people are confused about that for some reason.
Well, if you waited for any of the other beta keys, like the moment it launches, the moment beta is like active, it starts being like waves of invites, so they don't get flooded like every other time they start the league. The servers can only handle so much, and especially with beta servers, they're not going to be as heavy duty as the normal servers. So there's like a wave of invites going out. But you can buy into beta, so that's a good thing. If you don't get a beta invite right away, you can buy a key.
Buy a key.
So that's cool. And you can, from what I gathered, if you've spent more than $500 in the lifetime of your account, then odds are you'll get access. Is pretty much what they're saying.
I've spent $498.
Well, they did say that if you've bought one of the top tier packs, which is $440 or above. So even if you only spend $440, if you've bought one of those like top tier packs in any of the leagues coming up to this one, apparently.
I wonder how many people that is.
I mean, I did. I've bought 2 so far.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Let me rephrase. I wonder how many people have spent $440 on one single pack, but have not spent $500 in total.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I bet there's like 10, and like the odds of all of them
I'm only
playing.
buying this one pack.
I wonder
and
how
that's
many
it.
of them actually still play anymore. Is what I'm trying to say. Like 10
I can
like
see a
one of them
situation.
plays.
Yeah, I can see a situation where like somebody buys a pack, like the huge pack. They're like, I want to support this game. This game's awesome. Then they get burnt out, and then they're like never playing again. I could kind of see that maybe.
Yeah.
But very rare, I'm sure. Like if you're gonna drop that much money on a game, odds are you're.
And the chances they actually come back for the beta.
I mean, they might come back because they're like hyped about 3.0. That might be the thing to bring them back. But yeah, so I mean,
they're not.
I don't know how many invites are going out like day one, but it looks like they say each day they're gonna pick around 500 to 1,000,
Right.
which is much more than 288 a day, which is what the prior betas were. So,
Well, they
almost
had it
quadrupled
actually
the
at one
amount.
point. At one point, they were doing it initially at one person a day or some stupid
Well, that's
thing,
AIDS. That's
and it
terrible.
was like a troll. And then they're like, yeah, Chris is like the benefits of the troll didn't, outweigh the outrage that we got in the backlash. So yeah, we're not gonna do that again. They were creeping people in, and they were thinking it was funny as hell.
I did think there was one thing that was cool that, say you have a friend that he didn't get beta access, but you got it through the means of spending X amount of dollars, $500+ whatever, and you got your beta key, which is already added to your account. If you buy the supporter pack for beta specifically, you do get a key that you can give to your friend, like if he's broke or whatever, or if you still want to support the beta, you'll have an extra key to give away. I don't know if streamers can do that without that being considered RMT, but I hope that would be okay.
That should be good.
I can kind of see like Ziggy D getting like 5 to 10 beta keys, and he can do like raffles and get those off. Maybe that'd be pretty cool. I think that's good because you're supporting the game, and the fact that all the items they go kaboom once beta's done. You don't get to keep any of it. You don't get to keep anything. The characters, everything is kaboom, blow up, bye bye. So
you're gonna find a mirror in the beta.
I would be so sad if I do find the only mirror that I ever find in beta. I'd be pretty pissed. But I would do something fun with it at least. I would at least just do something stupid.
Mirror thing for Ziggy, you know, that fucking wand that he mirrored.
Yeah. It'd be pretty fun. Get 2 chromatics.
Mira offering to the goddess.
So it looks like Xbox One version will also be a beta for during this time as well, which I thought was a bit interesting. I'm probably gonna try it because I do have an Xbox One, just out of curiosity to see what it's like, and maybe just have a perspective to talk about on one of the Poetalks, just to have like, you know, an idea of what it's even gonna play like and all that kind of fun stuff. But
I think a good person for that would be Safarian.
Well, right.
Yeah, when was the last time you fired up your Xbox?
Since the last game I played was Halo.
Oh my god.
The Halo for Xbox One that was
Halo
released.
1?
No, the one that was released recently for Xbox One. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, that or maybe that was the PS4. I think I still have PS4 games. I don't even have a PS4. I think this is my buddy. But yeah, so I had bought an Xbox One specifically to play the new Halo, and then I was so disappointed. But anyways, oh, and don't ask GGG for an invite. They're just gonna completely ignore you.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember that they're getting spammed. Like, can I get an invite? Can I get a beta? Like, they have a system that they have implemented to give beta away. They have a system to hopefully acknowledge anyone that supported them throughout the years. And if you feel, they did say that in day one, if you don't get an invite and you feel like you've met the criteria of the 500 plus, and you've actually checked in your account and you've added everything up over the course of the year, or over the course of the account, then you can message them after day one that you don't get an invite, and you can get most likely you'll get a key. So wait until day one hits. If by the end of day one you don't have the beta access, or the first wave of day one rather, if you don't get beta access, do send in a support ticket. They did say that they will review your account and get you a beta key if you deserve it, if you are worthy.
So they're gonna do, if you're over 500 and you're gonna get a key on day one.
That's what it looks like.
Buts. So then after that, then what's the 2,500 people? Like,
I'm guessing the people from the way it's worded, I'm guessing it's a complete separate number. So like the 500 to 1,000 players that they're gonna normally pick, I'm guessing are separate from the people that pay into it and the people that have already paid. So there's going to be supporter pack, like I mentioned, that you'll get an access. In addition, it does say we will likely invite players with significant previous support immediately without the need for a purchase. We define this as purchases of any top tier pack for 40 or above, or people whose total life purchases combined 500 or more for everyone who supports in any amount. Thank you. You make this expansion possible. So they're essentially saying.
So is buy-in going to happen on day one?
It doesn't say. I would imagine so. I would imagine. My guess is it's going to be like a week ahead of time.
Last time it didn't. Buy-in happened after. You know,
logically,
like,
you would want people to buy more packs. I don't know, in my eyes.
No. I mean, if you're trying to do an actual beta, then I'd go against that. If you're trying to make money off the beta, then yeah. You do that to get, the maximum amount of revenue, but like I think 3.0, the successful launch of that is going to be a better cash cow.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious how many people are actually excited to play the beta versus, like I have heard a couple people say that. I think it was it's Yoji. He was saying that he doesn't want to play beta because he doesn't want it to spoil his experience, but then at the same time he said that if he doesn't play beta as a content creator, he kind of jews himself out of a lot of content. So it's a double-edged sword like that. I don't know whether he's going to do content or not, but
like if I don't get a beta as a non-content creator, I really don't care. Like I'm not hyped for beta. I mean, I know I need to go and spot out some pathing for day one. I need to be able to compete at least, but like besides that, there's only 3 acts that I don't know that are going to be shown.
It's cool that they're
5, 6, 7, and 8, or I guess 4. Or are they going to show 8?
Yeah, 1 to 8 will be in beta, and then acts
Yeah, so
9
they're
and
gonna
10 they're saving, which I like that. You'll still have some surprise. I do like that. I bet you they're not done with it, but
So
it's a good way to say.
There's 4 acts that I need to learn basically, and I could watch some content creator to learn those zones. You know, somebody like Ziz is gonna sit down with it, or somebody like Carve is gonna map them out, like, you know, the zone layouts, and I watch that, and then all right, I'm up to par. Right, like other than that, I don't need to be in beta. Like I'm not hyped about beta really. More hyped about 3.0.
Right.
I like league launches. That's what I like. Is when the day the league launches that first week, I love it. That's the hype.
Yeah,
Beta,
honestly
it's
don't
like
care
solo
about beta.
self-found. Beta's a solo self-found damn near. It's like, or even worse, because you don't even keep the shit. It's like what? Like, just, you know, throw all it on, you know, the first white weapon you get. I don't care. Like in beta.
Yeah, I don't really care about beta. I mean, yeah, it's great. They, get to figure out what's wrong the game needs, but
I mean, really, there's no reason to be playing beta past level 60. Or, you know, something like that. Or even less than that. Could be like 50 something. You hit level 50, you're done. Because that's all the zones you're going to be mapping out. I mean, I guess you could be testing balance. You could do balance testing for them, you know, at the end game. But it's like, you know, fuck that. I guess content creators, that'd be right up their alley.
Yeah, I'm excited for beta. I'm gonna try to like pump out as much content as I can because I feel like that's kind of like it's a very good chance that I'll get access. So, you know, it's a good chance to pump out good content.
all right.
So changes to the Labyrinth. Mr. Poelab, take it away.
I need to go soon, so I'm going to make this this changes to lab pretty. Well, it's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple anyways,
as
but yeah.
long as it is, it pretty much says, "Hey, we're taking out 6 trials, so you don't have to do 6 trials, and we're going to take out a couple of rooms out of normal lab."
Yeah.
That's
Boom.
pretty what I got out of it.
Pretty much, yeah. There's really not a lot.
Yeah, Cool Lab could use it too. I bet Normal Lab could probably use it more than they're even thinking of taking it. Normal Lab should be simple. I mean, really, it's new players. You're trying to introduce them to that kind of content. You know, don't make it overly complex. Maybe make cool kind of complex, and then kick it really high up to Merc, and then Uber Labs. You know, maybe even take it up to harder levels. I don't know.
It kind of makes sense to do normal 1 fight, cruel 2 fights, merciless 3 fights, and then obviously endgame has a bunch of different stuff added to it. But it just, I don't know, thematically makes more sense. As you're going up in difficulty, that you're getting more and more fights. I feel like it's definitely, I don't know. They're doing, they're going along the right lines, I guess.
I just remember I was doing labs on one day in Uber Lab, and it was a good layout, doing, quick labs, and went on to make a new character, got it into normal lab, and it was like the most cancerous thing I'd experienced in a long time. The layout was double gold door with 10 rooms or something. It was like, what the heck? Why? Why would you punish a player at this level like this? This should be the Uber Lab, always.
That's why people don't like it. People don't want to do lab. They fucking hate lab. So why are you going to throw more traps and make it harder for normal? It's normal lab.
Oh.
It should be simple. It should be gifted damn near easy to players at that level.
2 or 3, 4 rooms and 1 boss fight, done. Cruel lab, 2 boss fights, done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a level, 38 zone, 34 zone?
Yeah, something like
normal lab?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
When I tell a new player, they're like, when should I do lab? I'm like, fucking, you should do it at level 50.
Really?
Because you don't know what you're...
At level.
No, I said new players. You're not a new player.
New players, yeah. Over-level it and then learn it that way.
Yeah, because it's so much harder than the content that you're currently doing at that level. It's, going to be a real step up, and I'm like, it's not a necessary step up, especially for a new player when it's It's like, yeah, you know, wait till you're way over level, then try and, you know, not die to traps. Because that's basically the only thing that'll be able to kill you. But you still have a good chance of killing you. That's just, you know, I don't think that's cool, really. I'd like it to be more like, you know, easy mode, cruise through normal lab. So players, you know, get introduced to the ideas of what it has to offer. I mean, some of those trap setups in the normal lab are real. Like, they'll kill you at even level 60, 70.
Right.
Since Poelab needs to go soon.
Hold on.
Poelab.
What?
I typed in Twitch chat. I said since Poelab needs to go soon. I was just asking if people have any questions. I get those questions coming in now. If not, then we can just wrap it up. But I did notice something that in these notes that I missed the first time. Apparently, Aspirant's Plaza is going to have its own waypoint, and that's where you're going to also access Uberlab from as well.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's kind of cool and kind of not at the same time, because that means that you're going to have to, like, you're not going to have access to your stash unless they have a stash next to it. Like, having to grab new keys, you got to go back to your hideout, grab the keys, go back to the thing.
You need a stash, guild stash.
Yeah. I'd be okay with if they put, I mean, they do have it between phases, so why not toss it right there too, but
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and they need to reduce. I wonder what they're gonna put Sosa, or what they're gonna do with the gems, because I'm guaranteeing they're not leaving it the way it is. You should be in your hideout.
Oh, I fucking sure why not. I just don't want to have to carry currency on me to go and buy stuff. And if I don't grab the right currency of whatever the item is, I mean, it's like one of everything up to or before chaos, essentially. And you just have to know what you have on me. So you got to grab a stack of each one to go to Syosa to buy it, because I don't remember what the hell currency it is to buy it. And it's just annoying. Especially in solo self-found. Although it's a godsend for solo self-found. Like being able to buy whatever the hell you want. That's nice.
Right. Whatever you want.
But yeah, TLDR
so we have
for
a
lab.
question.
It's shorter. Good stuff.
We have a question coming in.
Yeah, there is.
Is Dicey single?
I mean, he's a little old and dated, but a gentleman, a general, one would say. So he's I think he's single, right?
What's that hairdo, man?
Slick
beard.
Any idea about
trading in
3.0? I have no idea. They're being really, really vague on it. So I feel like it's going to be a small quality of life.
I think it's going to be big.
So really? Vague that they said that last time there was like an update, they were like, we have a very small trade improvement, but it's very, very small. I don't actually know what the fuck it was. So
yeah, like they like the way they've hyped it a little bit, the way they've talked about it, they're not happy with the situation. I know, like that they're not happy with the current landscape and the amount of criticism they get, the heat they get.
Yeah,
like something has to change, and you know, even in game, you can tell like something has to be done. Either some real quality of life or some major maintenance, something. But
I mean, don't you like the trade experience now as it is? Not having fun?
If they got it, if they made it where there was AFK and D&D detection, a little bit of like ability to trade while in lab, or like do something with lab trading, because that's pretty AIDS. I'm pretty happy.
It was pretty AIDS to the point where like I was almost to the extent of having a laptop to the right of me logged in as a separate account to do my trades. Like that was
right.
How close
I know people that do that
when I was farming lab in the beginning.
Yeah, and then like that is where it becomes like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't want them to take it too extreme, for sure. I think it's more like it needs fine-tuning as opposed to complete renovations.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. I'm guessing it's pretty massive since they haven't talked about it. And it seems as if GGG, the way they work is if they don't talk about it, they're probably releasing something big, typically.
Yeah.
Because they've danced around this question about trading so much. If they don't do anything, people are going to be kind of pissed.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well.
I mean, if Chris liked trading the way it was, he'd come out and just tell you, like, trading is this way for this reason. This is as good as it gets. There is nothing better to come at me. But he's more like, we're working on it. We got, a bunch of closed door shit, and it really gives the hint of that he's trying to tell you, like, we are working on it really behind closed doors, but we'll get it to you when we can. It's just, it is a complex problem. I mean, just look at the JSON file at the API, or the JSON that gets served by the API. That has to be parsed by PoE trade. It's insane.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, we got no other questions, so we're good to go. So thank you guys for joining, and thanks everyone for watching. And make sure you guys follow and subscribe to Poelab's YouTube channel and his Twitch. He doesn't really stream that much, but once the new league starts off, I'm sure he will again. Now that my internet's fixed, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be streaming much more often. Maybe other games. I do have a solo cell phone character, all that kind of stuff. So, yep, thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll have the YouTube video uploaded soon, and see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me again, man.
Oh, baby.